showers, break it down. Oh yeah. I just wanna be your LB.
Welcome back to I'm Selling to You Break It Down, the second part of episode 3. In this second episode, myself and Omotosho continue the conversation with Pete Adarkwah from BBE, diving deeper into the music and the energy surrounding the era of The Magnificent by Jazzy Jeff, while exploring the album itself. From the soulful textures, the hip-hop and Philly influences, and the wider musical landscape of the early 2000s, we unpack why this project still resonates so deeply today. For us, The Magnificent is probably one of the BB's most finest releases, period. Let's get into it.
Now, we've got an album to discuss and we've got some songs to play.
We've got some songs to play, but I wanted to kind of just run through the stuff that was going on before 2002. So what was I listening to, or what we were listening to, was Instant Vintage by Raphael Sadiq. Sky, Can You Feel Me? Is one of my favourites of that album.
I never felt this way before. For the feeling that you give to me, I can't ignore. You're my joy. You truly do enlighten me. You're all I'll ever want and need. You got the best of me. So baby, come with me. Come with me. You got me wide open. And I'm digging you, so baby, keep it coming. Yeah.
Follow it. Smile. Happiness, you can model it. And when you feel opposite, I just want you to know your whole being is beautiful. I'ma do the best I can do, 'cause I'm my best when I'm with you.
Come close to me, baby. Let your love hold you.
Too good, it sounds tainted to me. So real, so right, real, so good, real love, real love, yeah, so good, real love. How many hits does it take for a record to blow? I mean, exactly how many licks it took from the whole spinning your cash flow, 'cause she was so. Nothing's the same, and really I just want my friend back. Gone crazy 'cause I can't leave you. Can't get you out of my system. If it's worth me holding on, somebody's gone crazy 'cause I can't leave you. Can't get you out of my system.
I guess this is why we connect, because we were listening to exactly the same stuff at the same time. One observation is that music all sounds so fresh. That could be released
It's timeless.
a year ago.
Well, the drums improved.
Yeah.
You know, because if you
Yeah.
listen to the Teddy Riley stuff, and at the time, as much as I loved them,
Yeah.
you hear those drums
Yeah,
now.
it's not
they're
quality, but he had admitted himself he was using toilet roll winners and stuff like that to create sound.
Yeah, and, you know, it's at the time I loved it. You know,
Yeah,
today,
same,
you know,
same.
Guy,
But we're gonna
whatever,
have to
Father
do
MC, all that kind of stuff.
We're gonna have to do a future episode on New Jack Swing,
I
Pete.
got rid of so many records.
But do you know,
but you know, was it Swing and Single? What was that group again?
Yeah, Groove Be Chill,
Groove Be
Swing
Chill,
and
all that
Single,
kind of stuff. Yeah,
great
yeah.
track, yeah.
but all of that stuff, you had the Soulquarians that you mentioned before, and you were talking about how you'd go into a studio and one person was here and one person is here, and you had the Soulquarians on that first they were pretty much all over Common's Electric Circus album.
Can I tell you my Electric Circus story?
Okay.
So I was in Philly. You know, Dylan was Common was obviously Questlove and all the rest of the stuff, and they were like, "Yeah, we're going to Paisley Park to record. Are you coming with us?"
Oh, was
and
this when you
I've got
bottled
a
it?
flight. I need to get back to London.
Yeah, you mentioned that before. Yeah. because Prince is on that album, but he's not credited. But
Pete's
people
face.
knew. I know. Yeah. Yeah, I would sit in that too.
Every story has been such a positive one.
I would sit
Like
in
one
that
of my
too.
biggest regrets in life was not just I'm an £82 business ticket.
Yeah.
I could have changed the flight. I could have gone. I don't even know what was so important I had to come back for. I could have always gone to pay.
And that was when he was out of sorts with a load of the major record labels as well, wasn't it?
I don't care. You could have been there. I could have had a Prince story.
Yeah, you could have had.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, well.
Coulda, shoulda.
Yeah. But all of that stuff, legendary music. I love that by that point, I was like going, hold on a minute, Touch of Class was on Music Soul Child. Do you know about Touch of Jazz? Sorry, not Class. That was a track on the Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff album.
Yes.
And so,
I did know that,
So, as soon as I saw that, I kind of made that connection. But all of that music of that time, I think it wasn't just about a movement. By that time, that live instrumentation, that rich production, and I'm going to say what almost felt like a proper turnaround to kind of like the greats of Philadelphia, Gamble and Huff. I think they're one of my favorite singer-songwriters, but that's where I found out about the likes of Larry Gold and all of that stuff. So for me, it just gave me an opportunity to kind of do a deeper dive into that artistry. And then the Magnificent came.
The Magnificent came and blew away much of what came before it.
Yeah. Well, for a start, we've known and grown up with the Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff. I never really thought of him as a producer. So when I remember going to a record store in Chapel Market in Islington, and I remember that record came through, and I was just like, hold, what? And I was thinking, is he going to rap? Because I hadn't heard any material at this point. Yeah. But in those days, I used to be in the stores for hours listening, and then I pretty much listened to the whole of that album in the store before taking it home, and then that's when that admiration was born.
I wish my memory was as good as yours, and I could remember how I came across it. I think I'd heard some tracks before the album came into my life via compact disc back in the day. But what I do remember is, you put an album in the car or something, and you think, right, I'll listen to a couple of tracks and then I'll move on. But like you, it's like I need to just listen to this thing from start to finish, and it had a buzz. So I was calling my friends about this album, and we would be on the phone for hours discussing track after track. Yeah. You want to get off and say, but what about this one?
But do you know what also threw me was, obviously, I think the last times I'd vividly seen Jazzy Jeff was being kicked out of out of the home from Uncle kicking him out. So it's not that I didn't take him seriously. He knew he was an accomplished person, but I think there were such animated characters that I was kind of like, is this the same?
There was a comicness.
Is this the same?
Yeah.
Is this the same?
Yeah.
Is this the same? Have I got this wrong?
Yeah.
I was a bit confused.
At the professionalism.
With just like how awesome this music was and how different it was from the Fresh Prince, and then his kind of, his comical kind of character on the show. So I think in my head there was a load of conflict as to what am I experiencing? This is dope.
Yeah, I think we probably had like preconceptions based on what we had been fed by watching things like The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and the lead that Will Smith seemed to take through the duo. And to me, it felt like finally this is Jeff telling us who he is, and to really put some respect on his name.
And then also get to experience him DJ numerous sets as well. By that time, I was like, okay then.
Yeah, I think one of my favourite moments from this whole album release was seeing Jazzy perform hits from it at the Jazz Cafe. I'm sure you were probably there, Pete.
I definitely was there.
With Eric Roberson alongside him on that stage.
I paid
that
for
moment
all of that. Of course
money well spent, because I still remember that show. It was amazing.
Wow.
Well, for me, live at Union Square, that mix it
Yes,
in, with that kind of their Transformer scratch and all that kind of stuff. So that was embedded in my brain. It was a B-side of the single. And I love that. And obviously Summertime came out, and then I thought, sometimes a simple thing can really resonate. And, obviously Kool and the Gang sample and stuff, but it was done so well. Yeah. And that was great. But it comes back to listening to the Jill Scott record.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And him being the executive producer of that and thinking, this is this new sound that goes beyond basic black or the other stuff, sort of like swing beat stuff, the crossover soul stuff that was happening, and Jill's vocals so immaculate. And then going and sitting in the studio with him and literally spending a month in Philadelphia, I think in the first instance, and listening to him, going through stuff, talking to him about music and where his head was at, and playing me stuff he'd done with Herbie Hancock, playing me stuff he'd done with a whole bunch of people. Yeah. And I'm like, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
And we've got to make it happen. Then I think he played me the Are You Ready with Slum Village. Yep. And then also the track You Hear Me with Eminem, which we couldn't get clearance from Eminem's people because he just blew up at the wrong time. Right. The right time for him, but the wrong time for us. And stuff that we could have put on the album. And, I was in there when they did, not Charm Life, there was a song, Break It Down, which ironically is the name of your show. And all the DJs came in and did the scratches, Cubet, and all these people, Babu, all these great, scratch DJs came in and did their thing on there. And then the original version had a Brady Bunch sample. Right. Tried to clear that. Disney were like, no, not having it. That would have sounded so there was so much stuff that was going on. And so I was like, hey, you need to be back out there DJing. So I arranged, I think I paid for 15 people to come over with him. And we did Notting Hill Arts Club. We did the party at the end. And that was the first time I'd seen the CDJs. And he's like, can you get these for me? And then I saw him scratching on CDJs. And then my head was all over the floor. It didn't make any sense. I remember Shorty Blitz and all these people like that to come there. And then watching him DJ. And they were just everyone was like, what on earth is going on here? And but I'd seen him in the studio just in front of me doing this private shows. And I'm like, wow. And he's such an interesting, dynamic character. And you can talk to him about everything and anything, and a compassionate person and stuff. And so we did that. Then we did Cargo. We did Jazz Cafe, and then Barumbo in the space of a week.
So was it a bit of a tour in that
Well,
sense?
I kind of wanted to reintroduce people because I think that people had never seen him. I think that I don't even know that he DJ'd properly in the UK before then.
Yeah.
And so there was that. And I think the only other times I'd seen him, and I can't remember what was before, was him and Bismarcky did a thing. No, actually, that might have been before. So I think him and Bismarcky DJ'd for the Independence Day party, a launch, when I first met him.
Right.
And then it was Biz just killing it, playing whatever he was playing. And I was like, I've got to get you back here. So, and I'm sometimes too impulsive. Just it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. We're gonna do whatever. Credit cards, whatever it takes, and then do that, and then get these things to happen. And it was insane. And then the biggest downside, and the things that can ruin newly formed friendships and things like that. And I'm not even not saying this in jest or anything, but we did this record. Super excited about it. Moved on to a new distributor by that time, K7 in Germany. And they had a distribution set up in the US. So for me, it was important to sell. I mean, if you look at all the analytics around BB, like 50 to 60% of the music sold is in the US. So it's about getting the music out there. As an indie, primarily you're manufacturing in Europe and shipping records everywhere.
Right.
Unless you have huge orders that justify you pressing records outside of the territory. And that's where the difficulties come. But the difficulty none of us foresaw was LimeWire.
Right.
So we did the promos and I was against it. I was like, we got to do watermark things, blah, blah. You know, the record had cost me twice that my first apartment around the corner was.
Yeah.
I'd had to borrow money from my distributor, borrow money on credit cards to pay up differences and all that kind of stuff. And I got a lot of love being a black record label person working with black artists in America. But what became difficult is when things went bad and felt like being let down, or they felt being let down by me, was that, you know, the record was on LimeWire a month before it came out.
Right.
And that was the first time sort of experiencing something that you spent a couple of $100,000 on.
Completely out of your control.
Yeah. And it's just out there for anyone who wanted it, who had a fast enough dial-up to get the whole album for free. And, you know, I think if you're a major label with deep pockets, you can override those things a little bit. And then the vinyl shipped late. It didn't get into the US, so we lost a lot out on the first week's sales and stuff. So that was stressful and caused a lot of tension between me and him.
The business side of it. So we don't see that. We just see the music side.
Yeah, like the logistical side of things.
Yeah.
Where it kind of dents your traction on what you need to do.
Yeah. Well, I guess the LimeWire.
And also being his first record outside of Will and Jeff. Obviously, we all wanted the record to do well. But then you hit something like that, and it's just like you get so deflated.
These are not small problems.
No. Real time, real world problems. So things like that kind of put a down on it, and they could have done that. But, you know, eventually, slowly got there, but it took a long time.
Yeah.
But the record still holds up musically, like we were saying. Like, when we had to kind of compile some of our favorites, that was quite tough.
It was tough, yeah.
Because everything is quality, like.
But it was like 100 miles an hour for me, so it was kind of like, you're doing stuff, you know. So the Dilla record happened before that, and then, you know, that came with its own difficulties, and then just the difficulties in terms of selling records in the US. At that time, you had Sam Goody's, Virgin, HMV, even not Walmart to a lesser degree, but the chains where you could buy into programs.
Yeah.
You know, and when I say buy into programs, maybe it would be like a shop will offer you listening posts and cap for 5,000 or maybe a couple of thousand per shop, but then you'd have to spread that across the key markets. So New York, Philly, obviously it was Jeff you had to then promote in Philadelphia, Detroit, Chicago, LA, San Francisco.
Yeah.
When you start totting that out, before you know it, you spent 50,000 upwards on one record.
Yeah.
On top of what you paid as an advance. On top of, you know, taking out an advert in the source. You know, do you go half page? You go full page. If you take out full page, you probably get more buy-in from Sam Goody's or The Wiz or wherever it was. And then you spend double what the records cost you. And then you get some shyster radio person saying, you know, give me another 50 grand and I'll get your record on Funk Master Flex or whatever and stuff. And then slowly you realize, you know, whereas I could just almost, you know, whatever anyone thinks of him, I could just walk into Tim Westwood's show, and hand him the record and get the play, get Dilla and all this bullshit, get Jeff on there doing the mix, him playing the whole of Hip Hop Forever mix from Kenny Dope and stuff, and getting a lot of traction, 279, you know, Shorty, Max and Dave.
This was different.
All that kind of stuff. without spending anywhere near the same amount of money. But then you've got the US with 300 million people, where you can really make or break what you need to do.
Yeah.
So I've got to ask the question: did you do all right out of it?
It took about 20 years.
Right. Okay. All right.
It took about 20 years.
But it's good. It's good.
But 20 years when it's in dribs and drabs isn't the same kind of thing, because
massive impact.
because you're spending money on a record, and it wasn't just that at one time. So I'm doing that with Pete Rock. I'm doing that with Jazzy Jeff. I'm doing that with Dilla.
And you didn't lay the money out over 20 years, so
no, exactly. So you need it back now, and by the time it's taking so long to come back, it's a difficult thing.
Yeah,
I think it's a jewel in the BB catalogue for sure. I want to play a few tracks. This is my favourite, My People's. And I know it's your favourite because we went into battle and I asked you last night.
And it's up there because I think that was, if I'm not mistaken, I think that was the first Raheem Devon track.
Yeah.
So it was that track that by the time it got to Getting Out, to Trevor Nelson, Ronnie Harrell, you know, sort of Matt White and stuff like that, that's the track that a lot of people gravitated towards.
Yeah.
And I felt got a lot of track. And Raheem, you know, went on to become, you know, make a name for himself.
We've spoken about this, a great crooner.
Really
absolutely.
Absolutely.
I think
he plays that role of a crooner as well.
Yeah, but they're a few breed of people that can do
kind of
that.
like, you know, come in and sorry, can I just say this, just as props to Raheem, having him on the Brian Jackson record and doing It's Your World, and the level of layering, and it's like you kind of get that, you know, it's like Marvin Gaye personified, but that's just the one person doing like 30 different vocal parts on a song, and the harmonizing and the back there, the ad-libs and stuff. Absolutely incredible to watch. It's like 6 hours of him watching him lay down vocals on It's Your World. Was just one of the most spectacular things I've witnessed in real time, in real life.
Let's play it.
Let's play it.
They don't know my people was way too cold. My people's all Satan. My people got more people for them. That's more people, more sisters and brothers. My people stay strong tonight. My people will never fail. My people will always remain with a story to tell. My people was made to adore. My people's all shapes and colors.
I love that. I really love that because I recognized a sample. I didn't, because it's so.
Hey, shush.
Let's move on. What I love about that and the Sean Stockman one, so let's call them the soul-y tracks on the album. They're not soul tracks at all. It's only the vocal that is soul.
Yeah.
The music is hip hop.
Yep, for sure. And also it got me to. It was good to hear Sean Stockman
outside of Boyz II Men.
And he's most probably the underrated vocalist in that.
Underrated, and also a little like you know, ladies, let me sing for you, kind of that. But on this track, he got a little bit of cred from me. I'm like, go Sean,
Yeah. Let's go to your favorite, which is We Are.
Oh, come on.
Trying to hold on, cause the trouble won't last. We are showing that the roots run deep and the hope won't cease. Cause every day we believe we will hold on and hold out. Put it together and make it work somehow. This is for Malcolm and music. My story, my moment. Never forgetting the truth. Keep your head to the sky. The only way that you fail is if you never ever try. I live for you, care for you. You don't have to worry. I'm gonna always be there for you. Doing what?
That's your favorite. What does that bring back for you?
It's awesome. Again, it's the vocal, like the vocal, the way it interacts with the hip hop lyrics. It's just beautiful. You can tell so much care and attention has been put into that.
Yeah, I love how rich but clean this production is.
Well, you know, I think, you know, Jeff also is a big fan of big production. You know, it's a big studio production. Philly Cat. You know, you got Gamble and Huff as your mentors.
Yeah.
You know, the kings of like the lush production with, you know, MFSB and Gamble and Huff and everything that they did. And you listen to Teddy record and stuff. Even if you listen to the parts, it's so clean when you get the I did a remix project with Dimitri from Paris.
Yeah.
And I spent a lot of time with Joe Tazia, who was the head in, it was his studio that all that Philly stuff was in there. And just understanding what he did with those records and stuff was just phenomenal. Way ahead of the curve of many other people. Probably Motown Stax were doing stuff like that. But they had the whole orchestra before, not necessarily before, but more time invested in that than some of the other contemporary labels.
It really makes such a difference. I think those things are what makes the music timeless when it's so well made.
Yeah.
What we got next?
Music Lounge.
I love the way the body just moves the sound. That's why, brother, always at the music lounge. Yeah. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound. Stand up and get live and just move around. You are now in tune to the music lounge, and the host is the brother with the groove and sound. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound. Stand up and get live and just move around. You are now in tune to the music lounge, and the host is the brother with the groove and sound. I get the mic check.
I love that. I recognize it felt really familiar because in some parts I got an introduction from it through listening to Quincy Jones. And it was a record that my father used to play on the Dude album. So I love that. But the next one we're going to go to next is one of your favorites, which is Charmed Life. And you know what? I've had to listen to this again. I was like, this is so you. Listen to it, and you're.
Some say I got my sense of humor from her, and I learned patience from making models in the basement. Brooklyn, New York, to wherever you at. This is autobiographical, taking you back with no time for refrains. I barely got enough time to explain how hip-hop captivated my brain. My mama raised me on soul and Beethoven. Sports clubs and private school put me up on soft rock. That was cool, but I left Z100 and WPLJ to find bliss would be a lesson kiss. Video music box showed me what time it is. Wrote my first rhymes with Corey.
That is so you.
It's one of the most distinctive, isn't it?
It is.
I just think it was just so interesting, and I kind of knew that was the kind of thing that I could get Giles's attention with, because it, more jazzy, just a bit more out there, and Pete Kuzma playing the vibes, and the percussion and everything. And J Live, great rapper, and a great storyteller. One of the unsung sort of independent hip hop MCs. So I was really, really glad to work with him on that.
And then this is one of you, both of you really love. This, we could not ignore this one. We Live in Philly.
Or something like that. Said Bilal and Jill Scott and Patti LaBelle. Ooh, we're playing at the Spectrum. He was like, I don't know, it was weird. He had a basketball for a mouth.
It was the picture she paints with her lyrics. It's so vivid. You just have this.
Well, being a Roy's obsessive, when we're talking about the record, and I thought it would be great to do that. And, I can see Jeff wincing a bit, because I was like, let's get Larry on the strings. Let's do this, Questlove on drums and, whatever and stuff, and then getting Jill on that and talking about Philadelphia, because I felt, it's just like the problem with America, or one of the problems with America, is that I feel that it doesn't revere its past as well as it should do. And I wanted a record that was going to be a tribute to the history of Philadelphia. I mean, there's been a great many musicians, jazz, John Coltrane, a whole bunch of people, Sun Ra, and a whole bunch of people that have come through the ranks in Philadelphia. And, obviously when Jill's record came out, I was obsessed. I was like, we got to get Jill on there. We got to get Jill on there. We got to get Jill on there. And so she came in the studio, wrote the poetry. Larry did a string arrangement. Questlove came and played percussion and drums on there. So it was a way of like having this all-encompassing Philadelphia thing on there. And just so
sound.
And got the
so
sound kind of got Jeff went for them kind of more muted, kind of Sly Stone kind of in the mix and stuff. And one of the most beautiful memories I have from the last 30 years is getting everything ready. Jeff finally mixing everything and then having it ready, ironing out whatever mistakes and imperfections or keeping them in or whatever and stuff, and then getting that. And then, what was I listening to on iPod? Or on my laptop there, and then putting the CD in there, sitting on the Amtrak, going to New York, watching Philadelphia and the kind of bits go by, and then listening to this album on the way to New York, Philadelphia, probably airport, and then getting on the plane and coming back. And then getting to Philadelphia airport, and what was it, that trip? I can't remember. Some of the stories, I'm not very good at the times. And sitting there, waiting for the plane, and then feeling, wow, it's finally happened. I finally got the record in my hand. And I'm like there, sat there, listening to music, and I look up, and I see a man walking towards me, and it's RZA.
Oh.
And he came and sat right next to me. And I ended up getting him on the Pete Rock album that I was working on.
Did you know him
did
at
a
the time?
No, I never met him. You don't ask, you don't get.
Always
This is true. We're going to close off this, but there are 2 tracks, but one really surprised me. So I'll play them back to back. I listened to most of this album, but when I first heard it in the record, I didn't make it to that last track.
Mm-hmm.
This is In Time with Masters at Work.
Yeah.
And then we'll follow it up with the Rock With You track, which is the Oshalade mix. And I think
so. Just really quickly, I can't remember what we were working on at the time, but then managed to get Kenny Louie to come down to Philadelphia and then do. Oh, and also the other vocalist on there that was really spectacular was V. And he did a record with Jeff on Warner Brothers that never came out. Tried to find a way to get that record out. That didn't happen, but they came down and worked with Jeff and then finished off In Time with V, because we just thought we needed a club record that would really make sense.
Do you know what that's always reminded me of, though? Because I've always felt that is a bit of a sibling to the Our Time Is Coming record. Was that before?
It's just it might have been just before.
Okay.
I think it was just before. And then, obviously off the back of Don't Change with a Shun Lade and Arrow, when Jeff did that record with him, I was just like, it'd be really good to get a remix from a Shun Lade on that one, just because that Don't Change was such a seminal record.
Yeah.
And I'd seen the record, seen this name on there, so I was like, Mayoga. Oh yeah, I left a message on his on his voicemail of the first record, and turns out he wasn't actually Nigerian, but I was just like, I felt so bonded on that Kanta's Ashun record, and I went up to see him in Harlem and stuff, and then talking to him, and then Don't Change came, and I was like, dude, I need you to do a remix of this Jazzy Jeff thing, and that dub is just next level.
Real.
Let's play both tracks.
I'm telling you that it's my time for all things working truly in time. So relax your mind. Everything will got right. Now I wanna rock.
And where did that landed quite high in our BB30 countdown?
I think it was definitely top 10, and I think the V song was in there as well. Another Phase, which is a personal favorite of mine.
Yeah, because there's a great track with Jill on there too.
Yes,
as well.
yes.
Yeah.
We've got to the end of our show.
We have.
It's flown by. and it's been a real pleasure.
Probably gone way over time.
This is what you get when you get people that can speak about music for hours.
The fact that we've managed to get all these great memories and wisdom from you, Pete.
I mean, they're hiding somewhere in my brain.
So,
you know, I don't know if I remember them, but you know, it's been a good conversation to trigger things and remind me of stuff.
It's been really appreciated. Hopefully, we can get you back for some more in the future. I'm really excited about doing. I want to talk New Jack Swing with Pete.
Okay,
so we've got to do something like that in the future. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode. Big thanks to you again.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Blessings on the 30th, and by this time that we have launched this particular podcast, you would have been celebrating your first installment in April, but there will be a part 2 in August.
So, like you said earlier on today, get your tickets now before you come to crying about that.
Asking me for help.
So we will. I'm sure we'll see you before, but if not, then I will definitely see you at the 30th party.
Fantastic
for all those shenanigans, Mr. Asabere, Omotosho, saying thank you for
Pete Adarkwah.
Pete,
we're going with last names.
We're out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Ciao, West.